So I've actually been really looking forward to getting you on this podcast. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, because when anyone starts out and you've got like a big idea, I always think it's like very, very cool when they start to bring it to life.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And that kind of what gets us going
Yeah.
as part of like the concept room, right? Like our mission is to create and share ideas.
Yeah.
So when we had our first phone call 2 weeks ago now, yeah, 2 weeks ago now, your mission was to help 1 million women, right? And then we had a conversation and we were going to build a strategy out on from that. But for anyone in my audience who might not be aware of like who you are and what you do, I suppose in the immortal words of Cilla Black, what's your name and where do you come from?
Okay, so my name's Toni Ann Martin.
Okay.
I have been a therapist for over 34 years now.
Okay.
So when I say a therapist, I started off in holistics and beauty and just found that I had this natural ability to pull trauma out of people, which sounds a bit crazy. But yeah, so no, I've been so lucky. I have worked with tens of thousands of people, mainly women, over those 34 years, and just gone on some crazy journeys with them.
So free to be she.
Yeah, so free to be she.
So how's that sort of how's that coalesced into reality?
Yeah, okay. So after working for a few decades, I started to notice these patterns and was a bit in disbelief, actually, because these amazing women were sitting in front of me and I could see how special they were and how wonderful they were and how magical they were, and yet they couldn't, and they just were really down on themselves, didn't see their value. And then I started to recognise that's what I felt about myself as well. And so I really just started to explore this. But it wasn't just one woman, Steve, it was every woman that came in to see me. And on the odd occasion where a woman did have higher self-esteem and did value herself and did love herself, it would throw me, because I just wasn't used to seeing it or experiencing it, and I just thought, it's so sad. It's almost like an epidemic of women who overgive, women who feel unseen, unheard, unloved, unappreciated. And then it's this reoccurring pattern that then gets passed down to our children, to our girls, and then the whole loop just starts again.
I love it. Well, I don't love obviously women going through that, but what's the I love the mission that you're on.
Yeah.
What are the main sort of problems that you find these sort of women face?
It can be anything. It can transpire and show itself as anything, but the underlying theme is lack of self-worth. They don't see their true worth. They don't see, and then they look for validation outside of themselves. So I'd say that was, there's a real fear of them not being loved or not being good enough. And that tends to be the theme that runs through. So, it will show itself as people-pleasing, as victimization or martyrism, or, however it will show itself through their actions and their communications and their relationships. But the underlying themes are usually always, they don't feel good enough and they don't feel loved. So.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, when I used to be a PT years ago, I used to train, my sort of ideal client was like, say, a woman who was like 46, 47, 48, maybe even 50. It was kind of premenopausal. and they might have been through a divorce, and the kids might have grown up, let's say. The kids are like, say, 18, 19, 20, and you've got a bit more time on their hands, let's say, and they kind of wanted to feel better about themselves, get them back to shape. And as you get to know these people, you get to know, like, actually, they've almost got like a second wind, because you wouldn't class them as old people, but you wouldn't class them as young people either. And it's almost like, oh, well, I'm not that old, I can still do all this stuff, actually, and I can actually still make a change in my life. And I thought that was like a really cool place to be, actually, because when you've kind of been through all that stuff, and then come out the other end, and you're like, right, okay, let's take on this challenge now, and like, let's get ourselves into a better place. I found that to be like really empowering, I think.
And it's so fascinating that you say that. And I know that we've had like a conversation about this before, because my ideal client is women over 40 who are so tired from overgiving, and they feel unseen, unheard, unloved. But I have a little like theory about it, and is that women's lives go in 4 different stages. So the first stage is your childhood, where you learn how to be. So you observe the world. You're looking and you're watching the women in your life, and you mimic them. You know, you're watching the men in the life, how they treat the women, and then you set a standard then of that's how things should be. And that stage lasts until we step into our mothering. Now, you don't need to have a child to step into your mothering. It's just the role. So some women step into it really young, having to care for siblings or parents or grandparents, and then that stage is when a woman fragments, and it's actually our unhappiest stage. So we completely fragment, and we give and we give and we give. We give to our kids, we give to our partners, we give to our friends, we give to our family, we give to work. You know, we are literally give pieces of ourselves out to everybody else who needs us, and we just don't give to ourselves. And then that phase tends to end starting round about 40, mid-40s, coming into perimenopause stage, which is what you noticed. And at that stage, it's called the wild woman phase, where we reclaim ourselves. So we start to notice, you know, this doesn't feel good. I actually don't enjoy that anymore. I don't enjoy being with that person. I don't enjoy going to that place. And it's almost like an awakening, this realisation that I've got more to give, but to me and not for everybody else. So it's the reclamation stage. So all the bits that we gave away to everybody else, we start to really take back to ourselves. So I'm not surprised that women of 46 were wanting to reclaim their health and come and, you know, exercise, and because that's what happens in this stage. It's a reclamation. We bring ourselves home to ourselves. And it's not that we stop giving to everybody else, but we start to give to ourselves, and probably for the first time in our life. And then we just fast forward to the last stage, which happens around about 70, which is the wise woman phase. And that's where a woman can look back and like join up the dots, and she can go, that's why that happened. You know, that's what I learned from that. And that's the stage where we pass on our wisdom. We sort of, we're meant to pass on our wisdom. But no, the stage that I concentrate in is that wild woman phase, the 40 plus, where we start to bring back to ourselves what we gave away. And you witnessed it, and you've seen it, and I bet you've seen so much transformation, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was women who kind of like, they wanted it. So I kind of came up with like a, I can't take full credit for this because it is actually like like a psychological thing. But I kind of like just kind of reframed it into my own thing, where it was like, imagine having like do you remember like the old noughts and crosses diagram?
Yeah.
Imagine in one sort of corner you had health.
Yeah.
So that was like physical and emotional health. So are you physically active? Are you keeping well in your body? Are you feeling good? Do you like what you see when you look in the mirror? That was the first thing. Emotional health. Are you feeling good about yourself? Do you feel mentally strong? Are you resilient? Have you got all your ducks in a row? So that was the first sort of corner. The second corner was wealth, so financial health. You're not struggling financially. You're not scraping the barrel every month. That's not weighing you down, where you're kind of having to work too hard to make ends meet and this and that. So that was the second thing. The third thing was love. So that was like personal relationships, family relationships, community relationships, without sounding crass, sexual relationships, all that kind of stuff in one corner. So love, like kids, family, romantic partners, professional relationships, all that kind of stuff. And then the last one was prosperity. So health, wealth, love and prosperity. So prosperity was kind of like, what are you giving? What are you giving away? What value are you contributing to the world? What are you giving to, like, what are you overfilling your cup with? And without sounding too woo-woo, it kind of was like, what it came to in the end of it was everything that you need to be happy is already within you. It's not something that I'm going to get this and then I'll be happy, or like everything you need is already in to be happy. So everyone who's like, these women that we used to work with used to say to me like, well, if happiness is within you, then why aren't I happy? Why aren't I happy? And I said, you got to give it away. That's counterintuitive, right? It's like, in order to have good personal relationships, you can't just take all the time. Yeah. Whether that's family, friends, romantic partners, business relationships, you've got to contribute something. You've got to bring something to the table. If you want to get physically healthy and more active, you've got to go to the gym. You've got to output something. You've got to give effort to make that happen. You've got to go for your walk every night. You've got to do all that stuff. In order to be financially healthy, you've got to work hard. Like, you can't get away from it. If we want to help 1 million women, as an example, we're gonna have to. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. You're going to face, obstacles along the way. Yeah. This and that, and prosperity. It's not always easy to give, especially when some people aren't the giving type. Let's say, and some people may not deserve that. And the thing that sort of rounded all that up was actually boundaries. Yeah. Actually, just strong boundaries. Actually, just saying no unapologetically. Yeah. And just being like, no is good enough. I don't need to give a reason. And that was kind of like my sort of. It's something that I still hold with me now. It's like, if my health is right, if my wealth is right, if my love and relationships are right, and my prosperity is right, if all them things come together, I'm okay. Yeah. When one of them things fall off, it's like, okay, I've got work to do. Yeah. That's kind of like my, is it Ikigai, the Japanese proverb thing? I think that's like my version of it anyway.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And then I've kind of held that through starting new businesses, decision making in the business, my personal values, my moral compass of like how I do business. And it's actually served me right. I've got some great relationships now. Yeah.
And that's amazing. And you've got like a proven strategy to follow and to go back to and to analyse and, measure against. And a lot of people don't have that. Yeah. They just go through day-to-day life wondering why they experience things the way they experience it, repeating the same patterns. And that is a great framework. Yeah, such a good framework.
If you ask, I always think when we talk like that on a podcast, let's say, like we're doing now, people don't always talk. Mentioned this in the call. So people don't always talk like that in real life. So some people would listen to that and go, "What are you on about?" But if you ask them the actual question in all seriousness, are you going to the gym regularly? Are you going for a walk? It doesn't even need to be going to the gym. Are you doing yoga? Are you going for a walk? Are you getting out and about? Are you being physically active? Okay, no, I'm not doing as much as what I can do. Okay. Are you in the physical shape you want to be in? Are you the right way to this and that? Okay, no, all right. That's one thing. Then you'd say, all right, is anything stressing you out at the moment? Oh, I've got this thing on my mind and, you know, it's been weighing me down for a while, or, you know, I've been through a divorce and I'm a bit depressed about it, or this and that. So that's one side of it. Second thing is, do you know what? My husband's been made redundant and it's been stressing me out because I'm the main breadwinner for a while. And then, or do you know what? I'm going to have to go back to work because my kids are grown up now and I'm not like the mum that I was or whatever. So that's the question that you can ask. And then relationships. You know, have you got the right friends in your life? Have you got supportive friends? Have you got the right family? Are your kids not playing up and this and that? Is you and your husband going on dates and this and that? And then the prosperity is, are you contributing something? Like, do you support, I mean, not everyone's supposed to have a season, you don't need to, but it's like, are you supporting good causes? Are you doing extra above and beyond for certain things? Have you got a purpose? Free to be She is a good example. Yes. Have you got a purpose to get out and do something that contributes to the world? Yeah. And if the answer is no to any of them things, actually, you've got some ways to. And but that's not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think.
No,
because,
not at all.
Because when you've got work to do, that's the beauty of it, right?
Because you can see your growth.
Yeah. You
can see your growth. And, you know, I get so excited when it's like I you know, have a client for the first time and she's committed to going through a program with me, and I get so excited because I think, you don't know what I know in relation to, I know who you are going to become at the end of this. And from where you are sitting now on your first session with me, you just don't realise how much growth you are going to have in this 12-week period, or however long it is that we work to. And it's, you know, it's not easy, but oh my goodness, is it rewarding. And I call it an AFGO, which is another, to put it politely, flipping growth opportunity. And
you can't swear on this podcast.
Can I? Yeah, my kids might listen to it, so maybe not. So, but I don't usually say flipping.
Right, fair enough. Not the life.
Yeah. And the way I describe an AFGO, Steve, is, for me anyway, is it's like walking into the eye of a storm. When a lesson is coming for us to learn, it's coming, whether we want it or not. So it's like walking into the eye of a storm, and then we are in it, and there's chaos, and there's just, just turmoil and chaos. And you have a choice when you're in it. And the choice is, are you going to feel it? Are you going to witness it? Are you going to look at it and really see it? And if you can do that, you move through it quicker. Now, when an AFGO's coming, there's only one way in, there's only one way out. You can't turn around and come back out. So your choice, your choice is, how long are you going to stay in it? Are you prepared to go there? Are you prepared to dig deep, to look, to see, to make tweaks, to make changes? And if so, then you're going to come out a lot quicker. But when you come out to the most beautiful meadow on a spring day, where the colours are so bright, you see the butterflies, you smell that lovely cool air, it's sort of like, and then you turn around and you see the chaos that you've left behind. And 100% of the time, you are glad that you went through that AFGO, because you are evolved more as a person. So they're not nice when they come along, but the choice is how long do you stay in it. I have some people who have been in them for decades, and I have some people who can go through them for 2 or 3 days if they're willing to do the work and look and grow. But the elevation of who you are afterwards, oh my God, it's like amazing. So when these women come to me, first of all, I just think, wow, you don't know how your life is going to change, how you are going to change for the better within like the 3 months And then afterwards, so like the trajectory of their life just completely just keeps on going up and going up and going up. And it's so magical for me and humbling. I'm sure it was the same for you as well. You know, when you get a woman on the start of her fitness journey and then you see her 12 months down the line if she's been committed and you say, you know, she's physically transformed herself on the outside.
Yeah.
But then that has a transformation on the inside as well, doesn't it?
100%.
There you go. And isn't it? It's so magical to be a part of that.
What I found is they kind of like uncover other stuff about themselves. And this is where this whole like framework came from originally, because they come along and be like, yeah, I want to lose 2 stone and I want to get in shape and I want to feel better. And it was like the typical thing that you'd say when you start like the gym or you start with a PT or whatever. I don't know whether you've ever had a PT, but like that's kind of what the typical woman would say. But as they go along and they start to get in shape, they realise actually they've got more confidence. They look better naked. They feel better with the clothes off. They might have got a promotion at work. They've started dating again. They're having the best sex of their life. All this great stuff that's happening to them. And it's all as a byproduct of actually just taking action. And all of them things fell under one of them pillars. Yeah. And that was kind of it, right? And for a woman who's like, say, 48, who's been through so much stuff, it was actually quite enlightening for them because I suppose they thought, and this is just what I, through my own anecdotal experience of working with these people, was like, they didn't even know that could happen for themselves. And then when they realise it, it's like, oh shit, I'm actually fit. I'm actually in good shape. I actually feel good about myself. I'm actually in great relationships. I'm actually doing better at work. And this and that. I've actually started a business. Yeah. Amazing. And like you say, when you come out the other end, it is like a cool breeze on a summer's day.
It is. And all the hard work of getting up and then, you know, I'm sure everything that you put them through sort of in the gym, all the blood, sweat and tears, they do it 1,000 times again.
So that storm analogy that you said is like, it's like the hard way is the easy way. Yeah. It's like, you take the shortcuts all you want, but like you have to do the work at some point. To get where you want to be, you just have to do the work.
You do.
And actually embrace the work. Yeah. Like don't be shied off by the work. Yeah. It's like, you're going to start a podcast. It's going to be amazing. You're going to help 1 million people. Yeah. Now that can be daunting. Like that's such a big idea. Yeah. That can be a daunting thing, right? Yeah. But actually, just take it on. Yeah. Like enjoy that process of just creating something. Freedom from that, with a freedom from the outcome of like, you know, in 10 years' time, if you helped 1 million people, fucking fantastic. But if you've helped 800,000, it doesn't mean you're a failure. No. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, just process oriented, and every time I've achieved something big in my life, I've always like say bought myself a nice steak or I've had a nice dinner out or something. Yeah. But you go back to work the next day and you carry on. Yeah. And it's like, what's the next thing? Yeah. What's the next thing? Yeah. So when you help 1 million people, it might be, okay, I've helped 1 million people, now let's have a glass of wine and celebrate. But now we're going to do some more. You know what I mean?
Now let's go for 2.
Yeah, for sure. While we're on analogies, an analogy I always used was, imagine having like an island and then another island opposite each other. Yeah. And one island is your idea of hell. Yeah. It's like no animals are there. All the trees, the leaves are falling off the trees. It's raining all the time. Yeah. No one wants to go on holiday. Yeah. All the fruit on the trees is rotten. It's just generally not very nice. It's rocks all over the beach. All the water's toxic. Nothing's great about it. Yeah. And then the other island is like this tropical paradise. Everyone wants to go on holiday there. People are serving up fresh fruit. People are serving up. People having a great time, partying. Just great vibe. Just the basically complete opposite. Yeah. And that analogy served as like, this is where people are right now. This is the turmoil that people are in. And this is like the ideal situation that they want to be in. Yeah. And the question then for people like me and you is, how do we get people from here to here? Yeah. How do we get people from that idea of hell to this tropical paradise? Yeah. Like, what's the vehicle? And ultimately, in this case, it's the Free to Be She program. Yes. So what does that look like? Yeah.
Well, I have my own analogy for it, Steve. So
I'm interested in this. I love an analogy.
Yeah. So And I've built the whole course around it. So it's looking at the acorn,
Okay.
you know, the soil in which we plant the acorn in, how we tend to that acorn to watch it grow into this like mighty oak. And that is my analogy. And so the Free to Be She, it's
Yeah, keep going.
a program, like an education program, where we break things down. And the first thing we've got to look at is the soil. You know, our soil is the foundation of what we plant our acorn in. You know, what we plant our ideas in, our future is all to do with sort of where we are now and the state of our soil. And a lot of the soil is contaminated. You know, it's contaminated with low self-worth. You know, and these are all programmings that we've had from a really young age. So the example I always use, you know, a lot of women that I meet, that I work with, don't speak up for themselves. They don't take up room in a room. You know, they play really small and they live a smaller life than what they're capable of, and they put themselves into a container. And it's like, so the first thing that we do is we look at this soil and we see, right, where did the contamination come from? So for me, you know, one of the stories that I share is I was probably about 7 years old. And over summer holidays, we'd go and we'd spend a week in Chester with my nan and granddad. And it was to give my mum a break, you know. And she was coming to pick us up after a week, and I hadn't seen her for like a week, and I was just like so super excited to see my mum. And she walked in, and I was just bursting with so much excitement that I hadn't seen her for a week. This was maybe before technology, before, you know, FaceTime or anything like that. You know, you had your phone, didn't you? You used to like dial and sort of, you had to wait for it to sort of come back and sort of, you know. And people didn't spend a lot of time, well, we didn't spend a lot of time. So we probably in that week, I probably spoke to her once in that week. So she came in and I just was flooded with so much love. And I was like, there's my mum. And I remember my nan looking at her as she walked through the door. And she looked at her and she said, for God's sake, Olivia, how much weight have you put on this week? And I sat there as a child, dumbstruck. One, how could her mum say that to her for the first thing? And then I was like, that's my mummy. That's my mummy that you've just said a nasty thing to. And the pain that sort of like ran through my body. And then I'm looking at her as if to say, now what? And she just sort of paused for a moment and looked at us. And we were sat on the couch and looked back. And she said, how have they been, Mum? And in that moment, it teaches a little 7-year-old girl that these big emotions are to be brushed past. That when people insult you and hurt your feelings, you stay quiet, but you ask the other person how they are. So all these programs we are taught as a child.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's how our soil gets contaminated.
Yeah.
So when we're trying to get an idea or start a new project or want to lose weight, we've got to make sure that our soil is at a stage where we can work with it and we can grow something in it. You know, because why do women, you know, sabotage their fitness? Go and work out for an hour and go and have McDonald's on the way home. You know, why do women sabotage? And this is all because there's contamination. So the first part of the Free to Be She programme is about really looking at what our foundation is, looking at the soil, looking at the stories, looking at our situations, looking at the programming. You know, there was like another one as well where I think I was about 14 and we were walking into, it was like a little get together at my mum's house, and she invited people around for a barbecue. And I remember there was one chair left. And I went to go and get it and started racing through, waiting to sit on. And I did. And then my mum's friend turned round to me and she said, "Oh, Toni, that was rather selfish of you, wasn't it? I didn't think you were like that." And then taking your emotion from excitement and knowing that it's okay to go and get something that I wanted, to then going into shame. Now, shame is the lowest human emotion that we can experience. And when I say that, every emotion that we have gives off an energetic pulse, and it can be measured in hertz. And when we sort of measure the likes of the positive emotions like love, joy, happiness, they resonate on a really high sort of level. But the lowest human emotion that we can experience is shame. And a lot of women experience a lot of shame. So that taught me at 14 years old, you know, that I couldn't go for what I wanted. And especially when there was other people looking.
Yeah.
You know, and that I had to give away what I wanted to somebody else.
Yeah, 100%.
And so these are all the programmings, you know, that we're actually taught.
Yeah.
Where women live by. So the first foundation is looking at your programmings, where they came from, who passed them on to you, and then we uncover all them. So awareness is the first step. Yeah. And then we move on to then the plantation, where we look at all the tools. So you look at, you know, how many reps they're going to do, you know, what types of exercise suits their personality, whether it is yoga or, you know, so what are the tools that you're going to give them? And then we help them implement those tools as well and hold them accountable to it also. And then the final stage is when, you know, the acorn starts to like sprout and grow and sort of, you know, and the most amazing thing is, so, and another analogy, Steve, is like, I always say, imagine that you have like 2 buckets of water. And a woman gives from her container. So you fill this bucket of water up. And then, because she doesn't give to herself, she has like little holes in her bucket and her water starts to seep out. And she's taking, you know, a glass from her bucket and she's giving it to other people. And so her bucket becomes depleted and comes down and down and down to the point where what she's giving isn't even good quality anymore. So when a woman is that exhausted, how can she give to her husband? How can she give to her, you know, to her children in a way where that she can nourish those relationships when she's got nothing left? So I teach women how to fill up their buckets and to make it overflow and encourage them to only give from their overflow. Because when your wife gives to you from her overflow, God, is she on fire. She is feeling good about herself. She's feeling happy. She's feeling secure in who she is. And what she can give you as you know, your wife is so much more than from that depleted place. So you enjoy her more. So your relationship improves. Your connection, your intimate connection improves. Your communication improves. Your lives seem to be happier. So when women give from their overflow, everyone else benefits. And this is what women don't realise. And this is what men don't realise neither.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love that analogy, the acorn, and the whole. I love it so much, genuinely.
Yeah.
I suppose from like I always think once you get past the age of about 35, all the ages kind of mesh together anyway. So it's kind of like
we stop counting.
whether you're 38 or 48 or 58, it's all kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
But I suppose because you've had them life lessons and you've had them lessons in your life and you've walked through them sort of stormier times.
Yeah.
It's like when the acorn grows the tree, the roots are stronger, so it's a stronger tree. So the stronger the roots, the stronger the tree, right?
And doesn't matter what way the wind comes.
Yeah.
So, so I always say that your roots have to be as deep as you are tall.
Yeah.
They have to be as wide as you are tall.
Yeah.
So no matter what way the storm comes, you can go with it and you can move with it and sort of bend with it. You're not blown over.
I love it. I love it so much. So if anyone's watching this or listening to this and they want to get out of that shitty position that they might be in their life, and they might be 44 or 48 or whatever, and they want to strengthen up them roots and grow the strong tree.
Yeah.
Where's the best place they can find you and come on board?
Yeah. So head over to the website, which is freetobeshe.com.
Designed by yourself.
Designed by myself, and I know I shared with you that my daughter, she's 18, and she's doing like a media and marketing course, and I said, baby girl, look what I've created, and she said, oh Mum, it's so embarrassing, it looks like a child's done it. I was just like, I'm so happy, because I'm so upskilled on this. So they can come along there, or reach out to Free to Be She, info at freetobeshe.com as well. So the way that I deliver the programme, well, there's several ways in which the programme's delivered. Obviously, we're going to be doing the podcast, so we're going to be sharing lots of free content, lots of techniques and tips for people to work through at home if they want to. But if they want to come and join our community, there's several ways. One, I have a 12-week course starting on the 27th of October, which is the next intake. And that is designed to take us up through Christmas and just overspill for the first 2 weeks in January, with the intention of you're going to make 2026 a different year. You are going to be a different woman in 2026. So that starts 27th of October. It's a 2 hours a week where it'll be on Zoom, and we will come together as a community and we work hard. But we create this safe container where every woman, one, holds each other accountable, but two, becomes their sister in their cheerleader. You feel very held and very supported within that, because the one thing I am good at is creating a good community. So the idea is that we meet online for 2 hours every Tuesday. It's recorded, so for the people who can't make Tuesdays, it's recorded. And then we catch up on a Thursday for a 30-minute little accountability call as well. So we all work hard. And then, so that's like 12 weeks. Or I have a retreat. So my retreat, my next one it's in Turkey. And that is on the 17th of October to the 24th. Where that's intense, magical. So I always say, who you are stepping on that plane is not the same person who steps back off the plane going home after that week. So we go through everything in that week, and it's rapid transformation there. And then you join the weekly calls to keep you consistent and keep you held in that safe sort of community. So that's if you wanted to do it intensely. And then it's not quite ready yet, but due to launch in January, which is the online do it at your own pace. So you can go online and do the course at your own pace. That is my least favourite option, because 90% of people who buy an online course don't complete them. And that's not how I'm going to impact 1 million women.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm going to impact 1 million women by bringing us all together.
Yeah.
You know, creating this community.
Yeah. I would think that, like, you know, people can say, well, I've helped 1 million people. But if it's like, oh, well, I've sold 1 million products, that's not the same as helping 1 million people.
No, because how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know they've even watched it?
Yeah.
You know, so that is my least favourite, but I appreciate that some people, you know, prefer that to work on their own.
For sure.
But yeah. Or you can work one-on-one as well if you wanted a more concentrated.
I love it. I love the whole idea. I love the model.
We're going to start a movement still.
I can't wait to get stuck into all this. It's going to be absolutely epic. I can't wait. I'm going to put all the links to the podcast below this podcast. This will be live on YouTube within a few days. Really, really excited to start this with you. And started to create this and get it in front of more people. Yeah, super exciting.
Yeah, and thank you for being so lovely.
No problems. Like, that's my job to create your ideas.
Great.
We are done.